Whenever Ethereum is able to find a nice support level, I am going to be extremely bullish on Ethereum, but there's also some altcoins that I think are sleeper picks that I think can go parabolic. Now, some key levels I'm watching for Ethereum to potentially hold support are anywhere from 4,100 down to about 3,700. That will be a critical SR flip test or support resistance flip. You can see at about 4,000, we've seen resistance, 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 and it was impossible to break through the last year. So if we're finally able to break that and then hold it as a support, that is extremely bullish long term. Another thing that Ethereum has going for it is a very high volume flow. So it'd be pretty easy for it to find some sort of support, maybe accumulate for a little bit before it continues to the top side. And if you zoom in all the way to current price action, you'll see that that would be landing us right in the golden pocket. That $4,000 range would be the standard golden pocket. That could take us up to TP1 to TP2, which is about 5,100 to 5,600. If we drop down to the $3,700 range, that would put us in the epic golden pocket. That could take us to TP2 to TP3, so that could potentially push us up to $6,000. And mind you, this is one impulse move. That's not saying that that's going to be the top for the 2025 cycle. Which, mind you, if you want to stay up to date with all of my trades or join us in the Epic trading floor, it is free to sign up. I'll tag the link of the video and I'll also put it in the description. There are limited spots available for the All Access Pass, and there's one spot left for the one-on-one mentorship program. So if you go back to 2021 and you ask people what the biggest issue with Ethereum was, it's going to be the gas fees. At a certain point, the gas fees are going to get insanely high, and the major problem and the issue that's going to arise is that people are going to stop wanting to use Ethereum. They're going to look for a solution, which is going to be the sector that I'm looking for the sleeper picks, which are the Ethereum L2 or Layer 2 scaling solutions. And these projects, their specific purpose and what they thrive on is the transactional volume in the Ethereum network to help compensate the volume load so that the gas fees don't get too high, so that people will continue to use Ethereum. Because there was a point in 2021, I remember that I tried to process, I tried to send $50 and it was a $120 gas fee, which means that I definitely did not send the money. I waited until the gas fees dropped, but there are some people that would do that. And when it gets to that point, it becomes a pretty big issue. And considering the fact that Ethereum is relatively overbought and pushing right up to the all-time highs, it's very interesting to see that these layer 2 scaling solutions are still very oversold. The first one we're going to look at is Polygon Matic, and you can see that we've been in a consolidation range, but volume has been looking extremely bullish. This type of range breakout is one of my favorite trading styles, and as you can see, we're still very far from this range high, and this is nowhere near the all-time high. The all-time high when it was Matic was, I think, it was somewhere in the $3 range. So as you can see, there's still plenty of movement if this wanted to take a parabolic move. All of these are extremely oversold, and because these are Ethereum-based layer 2 scaling solutions, they're going to be directly correlated to Ethereum price and Ethereum transactional volume. So until those two things really start to push up, the need for these types of layer 2 scaling solutions are relatively low. But you can see in comparison to Ethereum being very overbought, this is going to be heavily oversold. Another one that I like a lot is going to be Optimism. This might be one of my favorite picks going into 2025. You can see very oversold in comparison to price. We're basically testing the range lows from 2022 or bear market lows. And we have a nice potential here for an inverse head and shoulders to break out with a really nice volume inflow as well. So all the things for Optimism are looking good. Optimism also handles all of the layer 2 transactions for Base Network, which is another scaling solution for Ethereum, but they don't have their own token. So any of the transactions that go through Base Network actually get processed through the Optimism superchain. So that's always something to keep in mind, and that's another one on this list. And then some of you might have noticed the other day Arbitrum or ARB took off a little bit and had a nice little play. It's obviously pulled down now, but this is the first sign that we could potentially see some of these layer 2 solutions popping up. And another one that's extremely oversold and even pretty much under the prices of the bear market. But at the same time, while price is consolidating, you see volume with a really nice inflow on the daily, which to me is a bullish divergence. So we'll be here and patiently waiting to see where Ethereum wants to pull down and start to find a support, see if we hold anywhere on these SR flip levels, or if we continue to break down, only time will tell. This will also be directly correlated to Bitcoin, which is seeing a nice little pullback at the moment as well. So if you want to stay up to date with all of this, hit that subscribe button or join me in the Epic trading floor. If you learned anything in this video, hit that like button. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I hope everyone has an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you tune in the world, and I'll see you in the next video.